Looking in the mirror and seeing more scalp than you used to can feel absolutely terrifying. Every time you run your fingers through your hair, you notice another handful coming loose. You're not imagining it. Hair loss in women is skyrocketing across the United States, and dermatologists are reporting unprecedented numbers of patients walking through their doors with thinning hair, widening parts, and patches they desperately try to hide. But here's what most women don't know. What US doctors are now closely monitoring. The real culprit might be sitting right there in your refrigerator. Not genetics, not aging, not even stress. It's something you're eating multiple times a week, maybe even daily, thinking you're making a healthy choice. What if I told you there's one ordinary vegetable probably in your kitchen right now that contains more hair-building protein than eggs and can start reversing thinning hair in ways that will genuinely surprise you? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which vegetables are silently destroying your hair follicles and which single powerhouse vegetable can help bring back the thickness and confidence you thought was gone forever. Let's get started. Number 4 on our countdown is actually one of the worst offenders, and it's going to shock you because you've probably been told it's incredibly healthy. Spinach. Yes, spinach. Before you think I've lost my mind, let me explain this carefully. Spinach contains something called oxalates, and when you consume high amounts of raw spinach regularly, these oxalates actually bind to minerals in your digestive system, particularly iron and calcium, two minerals that are absolutely essential for healthy hair growth. Women across America, especially those trying to eat healthier, have been loading up their smoothies and salads with cups and cups of raw spinach, thinking they're doing something wonderful for their bodies. But here's what's happening inside. Those oxalates are creating tiny crystals that prevent your body from absorbing the very nutrients your hair follicles are desperately crying out for. Iron deficiency is one of the leading causes of hair loss in American women. And ironically, the spinach you're eating to get more iron might be blocking your body from using it. Dermatologists at major US teaching hospitals have noted this pattern repeatedly. Women come in with thinning hair. Blood tests show low iron levels, but their diets seem iron-rich on paper. The problem isn't what they're eating, but what's preventing absorption. If you're someone who drinks a green smoothie every morning packed with raw spinach, or you're eating big spinach salads daily, you need to rethink your approach. The solution isn't to eliminate spinach completely. Lightly cooking spinach actually breaks down a significant portion of those oxalates, making it much safer and allowing your body to access the good nutrients without the blocking effect. Steam your spinach for just 2 to 3 minutes, or saute it quickly with a tiny bit of olive oil. This simple change makes an enormous difference. Also, if you're going to eat spinach raw, keep it to small amounts, maybe a handful in a salad, and always pair it with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers or a squeeze of lemon, which can help counteract some of the absorption issues. Spacing out your spinach consumption matters too. Instead of eating it every single day, rotate it with other greens throughout the week. Number 3 might surprise you even more, and it's something many American women eat thinking they're making a smart choice for weight management. Celery. Celery has become incredibly popular, especially with the celery juice trend that swept across the United States. Women are drinking 16 ounces of celery juice every morning on an empty stomach, believing it will detoxify their bodies and improve their health. But here's the reality that US nutritional researchers want you to understand. Celery is extremely low in protein, almost negligible, and it's also very low in calories and fat. When you're starting your day with nothing but celery juice, you're essentially running your body on empty. Your hair follicles are some of the fastest growing cells in your entire body, and they require substantial protein and energy to function. When you're not giving your body enough calories or protein, especially first thing in the morning when your metabolism is waking up, your body goes into conservation mode. It starts triaging resources, sending nutrients to vital organs like your heart and brain, and completely cutting off supply to non-essential functions like hair growth. This is why women who follow extreme low-calorie diets or meal replacement trends often notice their hair thinning a few months later. There's a delay between the nutritional deficiency and the visible hair loss, which is why many women don't connect the dots. If you love celery, that's completely fine, but don't make it the foundation of your morning nutrition. Eat it as a crunchy snack with some almond butter for protein and healthy fat, or add it to soups and stews where it's combined with protein-rich ingredients. Never replace a real balanced breakfast with just celery juice. Your hair is literally made of protein, a specific protein called keratin. And without adequate protein intake throughout the day, your body simply cannot build strong, thick hair strands. Number 2 is a vegetable that's become a staple in American kitchens, especially for those trying to eat more vegetables. Iceberg lettuce. Walk into any restaurant across the United States and iceberg lettuce is everywhere. Salads, wraps, sandwiches, burger toppings. It's crispy, it's refreshing, and it seems harmless. But here's the problem. Iceberg lettuce is essentially water and fiber with almost no nutritional value whatsoever. It contains virtually no protein, minimal vitamins, and barely any minerals. When women fill up on iceberg lettuce salads, especially as a main meal, they're consuming bulk without nutrition. Your stomach feels full, so you think you've eaten well, but your hair follicles are starving. The issue isn't that iceberg lettuce is actively harmful like the oxalates and raw spinach. The issue is displacement. Every time you choose iceberg lettuce, you're missing an opportunity to eat something that actually nourishes your hair. Women often don't realize that the quality of vegetables matters just as much as the quantity. You could eat 5 cups of iceberg lettuce and get less hair-supporting nutrition than you would from 1 cup of a more nutrient-dense option. If you're eating salads regularly and your hair is thinning, look at what's actually in that bowl. Is it mostly iceberg lettuce with maybe a few tomato slices and cucumbers? If so, you're not feeding your follicles. The fix is remarkably simple. Swap iceberg lettuce for darker, more nutrient-rich greens. Romaine lettuce is a step up, but even better are options like red leaf lettuce, butter lettuce, or mixed spring greens. These contain significantly more vitamins and minerals that support hair health. Add some shredded purple cabbage for extra antioxidants. Throw in some bell peppers for vitamin C, and always include a protein source like grilled chicken, chickpeas, or pumpkin seeds. Dress your salad with olive oil or avocado-based dressing because the healthy fats help your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins that are crucial for hair growth. Number 1 vegetable that's working against your hair, and this one is particularly common in American comfort food. White potatoes, especially when they're fried or heavily processed, French fries, hash browns, potato chips, loaded baked potatoes with all the fixings. These are staples across the United States. And while an occasional serving won't destroy your hair, the way most American women consume white potatoes is problematic. Here's why. White potatoes have a very high glycemic index, meaning they cause your blood sugar to spike rapidly. When your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to bring it back down. And frequent insulin spikes can lead to inflammation throughout your body, including in your scalp. Chronic inflammation around hair follicles is one of the mechanisms behind hair thinning that U.S. dermatologists see constantly. Additionally, when white potatoes are fried in damaged oils or loaded with cheese, sour cream, and bacon, you're adding oxidative stress to your system. Your body has to work hard to process all that, and once again, hair growth gets deprioritized. There's also the issue of what white potatoes are replacing in your diet. If you're filling up on fries and chips, you're probably not eating the vegetables that actually support hair health. The solution isn't to never eat potatoes again. It's about how you prepare them and how often you eat them. If you love potatoes, choose sweet potatoes instead when possible, as they have a lower glycemic index and significantly more vitamins. When you do eat white potatoes, prepare them in ways that minimize blood sugar impact. Boil or bake them with the skin on. Let them cool slightly before eating, which creates resistant starch that's easier on your blood sugar, and always pair them with protein and healthy fat. Now we're moving into the vegetables that actually support hair growth, and I want you to pay close attention because these next 5 are going to change the way you think about feeding your hair from the inside out. Number 5 is a vegetable that's underutilized in American kitchens, but is absolutely fantastic for hair health. Brussels sprouts. I know. You might have bad memories of overcooked, mushy Brussels sprouts from childhood, but when prepared correctly, these little vegetables are phenomenal. And here's why they matter for your hair. Brussels sprouts are packed with vitamin C, even more than oranges, ounce for ounce. Vitamin C is essential for collagen production, and collagen is what gives your hair structure and strength. Without adequate vitamin C, your hair becomes brittle and breaks easily, even if it's growing from the follicle. Brussels sprouts also contain sulforaphane, a compound that helps reduce inflammation and supports detoxification pathways in your liver. Why does liver health matter for hair? Because your liver processes hormones, and hormone imbalances, particularly excess estrogen or elevated androgens, are major contributors to female hair loss in the United States. By supporting your liver's ability to process and eliminate hormones efficiently, you're creating a better internal environment for hair growth. The practical way to add Brussels sprouts to your routine is simple. Roast them. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Cut the Brussels sprouts in half. Toss them with a tablespoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, and some garlic powder. Then roast for about 25 minutes until they're golden and crispy on the edges. They become sweet and nutty, nothing like the boiled versions you might remember. Eat them as a side dish with dinner 3 times a week. Number 4 is a vegetable that's gaining recognition in U.S. health circles, and it's genuinely exciting for hair health. Broccoli. Broccoli is a nutritional powerhouse that does multiple things for your hair simultaneously. First, it contains a good amount of protein for a vegetable, about 4 grams per cup of cooked broccoli. While that's not as much as animal protein, it's significant when you're building a plant-forward diet or trying to increase your overall protein intake throughout the day. Remember, your hair is made of protein, so every bit counts. Second, broccoli is loaded with B vitamins, particularly folate, which is crucial for cell division. Your hair follicles are constantly dividing and creating new cells to push hair strands up and out of your scalp. When folate levels are low, this process slows down dramatically. Many American women are walking around with suboptimal folate levels without realizing it, especially if they're not taking a quality multivitamin or eating enough folate-rich foods. Adding broccoli to your regular rotation ensures you're getting natural, easily absorbed folate. Third, broccoli contains something called DIM, which helps your body metabolize estrogen more effectively. Estrogen dominance is incredibly common in American women, driven by factors like stress, environmental toxins, processed foods, and hormonal birth control. When estrogen levels are out of balance, it can trigger a type of hair loss similar to pattern baldness, where the hair thins at the crown and along the part line. The key is to eat it regularly and prepare it correctly. Lightly steaming broccoli for 3 to 5 minutes preserves the most nutrients. You can also roast it like Brussels sprouts for variety. Eat broccoli at least 4 times a week, aiming for 1 to 2 cups per serving. Within a few weeks of eating broccoli regularly, many women notice their hair feels stronger and breaks less easily. Number 3 is a vegetable that's been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but modern U.S. research is now confirming what practitioners have known all along. Bell peppers, particularly red bell peppers. Red bell peppers contain more vitamin C than almost any other food on the planet. 1 medium red bell pepper gives you more than twice your daily requirement of vitamin C. Why is this so critical for hair? Vitamin C does several essential things. It helps your body absorb iron from plant-based foods. It's required for collagen synthesis, and it's a powerful antioxidant that protects hair follicles from damage caused by free radicals. American women, especially those not eating enough fresh produce, often have suboptimal vitamin C levels without realizing it. You might not have scurvy, the severe deficiency disease, but you can have chronic, low-level deficiency that impacts hair growth. Dermatologists have noted that women who increase their vitamin C intake often see improvements in hair thickness and reduce shedding within 2 to 3 months. Red bell peppers also contain beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A, another nutrient essential for sebum production in your scalp. Sebum is the natural oil that keeps your hair moisturized and protected. The practical way to eat more red bell peppers is easier than you think. Slice them into strips and eat them raw with hummus as an afternoon snack. Dice them and add them to morning omelets. Roast them and add them to salads or grain bowls. You want to aim for at least one red bell pepper or an equivalent amount of yellow or orange peppers about 4 to 5 times a week. Number 2 is a vegetable that US doctors and nutritionists are getting genuinely excited about for hair health, and it's one you've probably walked past 100 times at the grocery store without giving it a second thought. Edamame, which are young soybeans. Edamame is an absolute protein powerhouse. 1 cup of cooked edamame contains about 18 grams of complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs. This is the same quality of protein you'd get from meat or eggs, but from a plant source. For women who are vegetarian or those trying to reduce animal protein intake, or anyone who simply isn't getting enough protein throughout the day, edamame is a game changer. Research from US universities has shown that many American women, particularly those over 40, are not consuming enough protein to support optimal hair growth. Edamame makes reaching that goal much easier, but protein isn't the only reason edamame is incredible for hair. It also contains isoflavones, plant compounds that have a gentle estrogen balancing effect. Studies conducted in the United States have found that women who consume soy foods regularly often have more stable hormone levels and report fewer issues with hormonally driven hair loss, particularly during menopause when estrogen levels fluctuate wildly. Edamame also provides iron, folate, and magnesium, 3 minerals that are frequently deficient in American women. And all 3 are essential for healthy hair follicle function. Getting edamame into your routine is incredibly simple. You can buy it frozen in most US grocery stores, either in the pod or already shelled. Boil the pods in salted water for 5 minutes. Drain them, sprinkle with a little sea salt, and eat them as a snack or appetizer. If you buy shelled edamame, toss it into salads, stir fries, grain bowls, or pasta dishes. Aim for edamame 3 to 4 times a week. Now, we're at number 1. The single most powerful vegetable for reversing hair loss and promoting thick, healthy hair growth. This is the vegetable that contains more usable protein than eggs. The one that US doctors are recommending to their patients with thinning hair. The one that addresses multiple causes of hair loss simultaneously. Are you ready? It's spirulina. Now, technically, spirulina is a blue-green algae, but it's consumed as a vegetable product, and it's available in every health food store across the United States, usually in powder or tablet form. Let me explain why spirulina is so extraordinary for hair health. First, the protein content. Spirulina is approximately 60 to 70% protein by weight, and it's a complete protein containing all essential amino acids in optimal ratios. Gram for gram, spirulina contains more protein than any other plant source and even more bioavailable protein than eggs or beef. When we talk about building hair, which is literally constructed from protein, spirulina gives your body exactly what it needs in the most efficient form possible. But here's what makes spirulina truly special. It contains an incredibly rare nutrient called phycoyanin, which is the blue pigment that gives spirulina its distinctive color. Phycoyanin is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound that specifically protects cells from oxidative damage. Research conducted at US universities has shown that phycoyanin can reduce inflammation around hair follicles, protect the cells that produce hair from damage, and even help reverse some of the follicle miniaturization that occurs in pattern hair loss. Follicle miniaturization is the process where hair follicles gradually shrink over time, producing thinner and thinner hairs until eventually they stop producing visible hair altogether. This is the primary mechanism behind female pattern hair loss, which affects millions of American women. The fact that phycoyanin can potentially reverse this process is genuinely groundbreaking. Spirulina is also incredibly rich in iron, containing more iron per gram than spinach. And unlike spinach, it doesn't contain oxalates that block absorption. The iron in spirulina is highly bioavailable, meaning your body can actually use it efficiently. Since iron deficiency is one of the most common nutritional causes of hair loss in American women, particularly women who men rate heavily or those who've given birth recently, spirulina addresses this root cause directly. Additionally, spirulina contains gamma-linolenic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid that has anti-inflammatory properties and supports healthy scalp function. Many women with thinning hair also have inflammation in their scalp, sometimes visible as redness, flaking, or tenderness. Dermatologists and nutritionists across the United States are increasingly recommending spirulina to women with hair loss because it addresses so many contributing factors at once: low protein intake, inflammation, iron deficiency, oxidative stress, and nutrient gaps are all tackled by this single food. The question is, how do you actually use spirulina in a way that's sustainable and effective? Here's the practical protocol that's working for thousands of American women. Start with 1 teaspoon of spirulina powder per day for the first week. Spirulina has a strong, earthy taste that takes some getting used to, so starting small helps your palate adjust. Mix the powder into a morning smoothie with frozen berries, banana, a handful of spinach, and your choice of milk. The fruit masks the taste almost completely. After the first week, increase to 1 tablespoon, which is about 7 grams per day. This gives you roughly 4 to 5 grams of protein, plus all the other beneficial compounds. Many women split this into 2 servings, half in a morning smoothie and half mixed into a glass of juice in the afternoon. If you absolutely cannot tolerate the taste, spirulina tablets are available. You'd need to take about 10 to 15 tablets to get the equivalent of 1 TSP of powder, but it's a viable option. Within 2 weeks of starting spirulina, many women notice their energy levels improve noticeably. This is the iron and B vitamins going to work. Within 4 to 6 weeks, hair shedding often decreases significantly. You'll notice less hair on your pillow, in the shower drain, and in your brush. Within 3 to 4 months, new hair growth becomes visible. Look for baby hairs along your hairline and part fine hairs that are just starting to grow in. By 6 months of consistent spirulina consumption, the majority of women report noticeably thicker, fuller hair. Make sure you're buying spirulina from a reputable source that tests for contaminants. Look for organic spirulina from brands that provide third-party testing certificates. So let's bring this all together. You now understand that some vegetables you thought were helping your hair might actually be working against you when consumed in certain ways or amounts. Raw spinach in excess, celery as meal replacement, nutritionally empty iceberg lettuce, and high glycemic white potatoes can all undermine hair health through different mechanisms. But you also now know the vegetables that can genuinely transform your hair from the inside out. Brussels sprouts with their vitamin C and liver support, broccoli with its protein and hormone balancing compounds, red bell peppers with their collagen building power, edamame with its complete protein and isoflavones, and spirulina, the ultimate hair growth vegetable that addresses virtually every nutritional factor in female hair loss. The beautiful truth is that you have incredible power over your hair health through the choices you make every single day, not through expensive treatments or harsh chemicals, but through the simple act of choosing the right vegetables and preparing them in ways that maximize their benefits. Your hair follicles are living, responsive parts of your body. When you feed them properly, they respond. When you reduce inflammation, they thrive. When you give them protein, vitamins, minerals, and protective compounds, they do what they're designed to do, which is produce strong, healthy, beautiful hair. Start with one change this week. Maybe it's swapping your iceberg lettuce salad for a nutrient-dense option with red bell peppers and broccoli. Maybe it's adding a tablespoon of spirulina to your morning routine. Small, consistent actions compound over time into remarkable results. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you could be running your fingers through noticeably thicker hair, seeing new growth filling in areas that had thinned, feeling the confidence that comes from knowing your hair is healthy and strong. The choice is genuinely yours. If this information helped you, please hit that like button so more women can find this video. Drop a comment below and tell me which vegetable you're going to start with. Are you Team Spirulina? Ready to dive into the most powerful option? And please share your age and what state you're watching from. Share this video with anyone you know who's dealing with hair loss or who wants to keep their hair thick and healthy. This information is too important to keep to yourself. Remember, your hair is not just vanishing randomly. There are reasons and there are solutions. You've just learned both. Now it's time to take action, to stay consistent and watch your hair transform.